We have been at the trade shows this year, and what's really trending right now is the speed wrapping.
I tend to cringe whenever I hear about speed wrapping. Speed wrapping is really not an efficient way to show what the industry is really about. There's a lot of corners cut, quality is bad.
So we thought, hey, why not make the study more true to life and do it as a customer actually coming in. Within the speed wraps, they wouldn't take off any of the car parts. They would just wrap over the car parts, and it would be anywhere from 5 to 7 different installers, which really isn't true to life. So what we wanted to do was take 2 installers, and we wanted to say, okay, if we put 2 wrap installers on 6 brands, what's the outcome when they take apart the car, clean the car, wrap it, put it back together, and then send it on to the customer? You know, where does Avery Dennison lay when you get all those factors involved?
Coming to this week, I was told to keep the same momentum, same intensity, same techniques, same cuts and everything. Try to keep everything consistent into wrapping every single car.
The material is super important, and being able to show the differences in the time that it takes and the inefficiencies that some have or the properties that just make them difficult to work with is extremely important for people to know.
The orange material. It was formable, but not as formable as other materials. It had some stiffness to it. It breaks real easy. It's kind of brittle. The adhesive is really strong. You know, it's really tacky. We had to be really careful on pulling the material, soften up, and just careful enough where we were not going to break it or overstretch it. I guess it has something that doesn't like windows or glass, because as soon as it touched the sunroof of the car and we try to lift it to reposition, which you always have to do when you're wrapping a roof in one piece, it just break, you know, it just pull apart. Laying the material is one thing. Making it stick and making it stay on the car is another thing. Every seam that I cut, every trim that I did on the car, it had to be heated for it to stay down. Any other material, you wouldn't have that problem. And one thing that we were noting, as soon as we touch that with heat and try to pull it, you can see the stretch marks. So that tells you that the adhesive on the back is actually pulling apart and it's not going to hold. My overall impression on the blue material, air release was good, wrinkle release was good. It's just as soon as it touches the surface, it's a little harder to lift up than other materials. A material should work for you and not break when you pulling, because a material applying on a car that has curve, you have to pull. So if it's gonna break while you pull, then you know you have to be extra careful with it. I would definitely recommend the blue material, but you have to be careful when pulling it. Working the vinyl into the doors and simple areas like that was pretty decent. Once you get a wrinkle on there and you lift up the vinyl and heat it up again to get the memory back on there, the wrinkle will not disappear, the wrinkle will stay in there. Another thing, when it touches metal, it does really good. As soon as it touches plastic, it's like the adhesive is non-existent. It just comes apart. The yellow material is actually going down pretty quick. It seems to have a good idea of what the material should be when it comes to regular parts of the car, regular metal parts. As soon as it comes to contact with plastic, it doesn't want to stick. If you have problems like that with plastic, then you have to work a lot harder to make them stick. I would recommend the yellow material. You have to take precautions when it comes to plastic. The qualities of the rip material tend to work for me, not against me. It had good quality on the wrinkle control, tack control, the release. For mobility was amazing. The rip material was a lot easier to form into curves around the bumpers, back of the trunk part area, the wing or the roof was a lot easier with the rip material. I would most definitely recommend the rip material for the sole fact that it made my life easier while working with it. And to me, being an installer, if I have a material that is working with me and making my life easier and making easy money, then I will definitely recommend that material for another installer. This experience actually was pretty fun. It challenged me as an installer and actually got me to a point where I can actually see what the different materials are out there and what can they do for me.
There's some materials that we just shy away from 100%. And there's other materials that we use on a daily basis. And that's a real testament to the material.
Avery Dennison was just perfect. You know, it's what we like to see from a material.